যুক্তরাষ্ট্র এবং ইরানের মধ্যে শান্তি আলোচনা আয়োজন করে প্রশংসায় ভাসছে পাকিস্তান। ৬ সপ্তাহের টানা যুদ্ধের পর দুই পক্ষকে আলোচনার টেবিলে নিতে পারায় পাকিস্তানের ভাবমূর্তি বেড়েছে আন্তর্জাতিক অঙ্গনে। বিশ্ব নেতারা প্রতিনিয়ত জানাচ্ছেন অভিনন্দন। এই যুদ্ধবিরতিকে সমর্থন জানিয়ে ইউরোপিয়ান কাউন্সিল একটি যৌথ বিবৃতি প্রকাশ করে, যেখানে ফ্রান্সের প্রেসিডেন্ট ইমানুয়েল ম্যাক্রো, ইতালির প্রধানমন্ত্রী জর্জিয়া মেলোনি, জার্মান চ্যান্সেলর ফ্রেডরিক মেটস এবং যুক্তরাষ্ট্রের প্রধানমন্ত্রী কিয়ার স্টারমার, সেই সাথে কানাডার প্রধানমন্ত্রী মার্ক কার্নি সহ 10 পশ্চিমা নেতা সমর্থন এবং স্বাগত জানান। এছাড়াও অস্ট্রেলিয়ার ফেডারেল চ্যান্সেলর ক্রিস্টিয়ান স্টকার, কাতারের আমির আহমেদ আল থানি সহ বাহরাইন এবং কাজাখস্তানও পাকিস্তানের এই উদ্যোগের প্রশংসা করেছে। যুদ্ধবিরতিতে খুশি তেহরানের বাসিন্দারাও। পাকিস্তানের এমন উদ্যোগকে স্বাগত জানিয়েছে তারা, তবে আলোচনা ভেস্তে যাবার শঙ্কাও রয়েছে কারো কারো।
মধ্যপ্রাচ্যের পরিস্থিতিতে পাকিস্তানের মতো একটি শক্তিশালী দেশ যদি তার ভূমিকা পালন করতে পারে, তবে এটি খুবই ভালো বিষয়।
আমরা যুক্তরাষ্ট্রের সঙ্গে কয়েকবার আলোচনা করেছি, কিন্তু কোনো চুক্তিতে পৌঁছাতে পারিনি। যদি যুদ্ধবিরতি কেবল এসব ব্যর্থ আলোচনারই ধারাবাহিকতা হয়, তবে তা অর্থহীন।
দর্শক, পাকিস্তানে বসতে যাচ্ছেন যুক্তরাষ্ট্র এবং ইরানের কূটনীতিকরা, ফলে বিশ্ববাসীর চোখ এখন সেই আলোচনার দিকে। এই বিষয়ে কথা বলতে যোগ দিচ্ছি রাজধানী ইসলামাবাদ থেকে আমাদের একজন রাজনৈতিক বিশ্লেষক আম্মার রশিদের সঙ্গে। হ্যালো আম্মার, ওয়েলকাম টু স্টার নিউজ। ইটস আ প্লেজার টু হ্যাভ ইউ উইথ আস। Ammar, can this meeting Islamabad plays a positive role in improving relationship between the US and Iran?
Absolutely. I'm personally cautiously optimistic that these talks can be meaningful and they can arrive at a meaningful deal. And that's primarily because both the United States and Iran currently have an interest in ensuring that there's an end to this war and a long-term peace deal. Because this war has been incredibly destructive, particularly for the United States and its interests in the region. A lot of its military architecture in the region has already been destroyed. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz has caused trillions of dollars in losses to the global economy. It's caused oil prices and food prices to rise around the world. So if this continues, both the United States, Europe, and the global economy in general stands to lose out massively. So they have an interest in ensuring a deal. And similarly for Iran, while they absolutely have come out much stronger in this war, and they have managed to I would say, have a decisive victory against the United States and Israel. But at the same time, if this war escalates, then Iran could also stand to lose a lot in terms of its energy and power infrastructure, and then also run the risk of a broader escalation with regional Gulf countries, which could drag other countries like Pakistan into the conflict also. And so for both of these parties, there is an incentive to secure a meaningful deal in which their interests will be protected, and then there can be a long-term cessation of hostilities and a new settlement for the entire region.
Ammar, how strategically important is this for Pakistan to host this meeting?
It's incredibly critical for Pakistan. You could make the argument that outside of the parties involved in this war, such as the US, Israel, Iran, and the Gulf states, Pakistan was likely the country that was most affected by the war. We obviously share a very long border with Iran. Pakistan has very close ties with Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states. And this conflict had already been causing a lot of economic turmoil in Pakistan. And if it had continued, it would have had added security implications for Pakistan also, one of which could have been being asked by Saudi Arabia to step in to defend it against Iran's attacks if the war had continued. And then Pakistan also had the risk of, in the case of Iran, the state possibly collapsing or Iran suffering a defeat, then having a very Israel-friendly and pro-India regime next door in Iran. And neither of these possibilities were things that Pakistan could really tolerate happening. And so for all of these factors, and the fact that Pakistan is probably the only country in the world to have ties with both the United States and Iran, and close ties with China and Saudi Arabia, and also countries like Turkey and Egypt, it was probably the best to actually be able to bring about this ceasefire and push things towards a durable conclusion. So We've gotten this far, but obviously there's a lot of wild cards still in the picture. Not least of all Israel, which is continuing to violate the ceasefire in Lebanon, and it's doing everything in its power to sabotage the ceasefire. They've already assassinated negotiators in Iran in the past who were working on ceasefire negotiations, and there's a risk that they could attempt something similar again. So there's a lot of these factors that still have to be catered for.
Amar, if this meeting fails, what could be the possible consequences?
I think the consequences could be incredibly far reaching if the meeting fails and the war resumes. I think we could see something akin to a global depression if the Strait of Hormuz continues to be closed for further weeks and months. I think there is a massive risk of this turning into an outright regional confrontation if there continue to be attacks by Israel and the US on Iranian energy and power sites and similar attacks by Iran on Gulf energy and power infrastructure. And there's a chance that this could escalate into a much more protracted conflict with much more casualties and long term economic damage to the entire world. So I think the entire world needs these talks to succeed. And if they do, then then what awaits us on the other side is the possibility of a new future, of a multipolar world where there is respect for sovereignty, where there is respect for each country's national interests, where there is regional cooperation, and where there isn't a military hegemony of Israel and the United States that can kind of control the region and incite conflict whenever it wants. So I think what we really need from this meeting in Islamabad is the basis for a long-term peace in the Middle East and in West Asia, and after which we can begin a new multipolar era of regional cooperation in West Asia.
Amar, thank you very much for joining us.